Hello viewers. So in this video, we'll be looking at how to obtain equations when we are given the graph of sine and cosine. So this type of problems, you need to identify the period is very important. And what is the period? The period you need to use 4 intervals. So for example, you need to locate that from this point, this is the minimum point to this is 1 interval. And this is also the second interval. This is the third interval. And this is the fourth interval. So this will give us 1 period. Then we need to start also finding the amplitude. So amplitude, which is simply absolute value of A, we use this formula, capital M minus small m divided by 2. What is capital M? Capital M is the maximum value you have. And the maximum value of y, as you can see here, is 1. So we will have 1 minus the minimum value is minus 1. So everything you divide by 2. Now this is going to be 2 divided by 2. So the absolute value of A is equals to 1. But if you look at this graph, you will see that at the initial point, which is this, what is the initial? Your starting point, which is minus pi over 2, the value of y becomes the minimum, right? So this tells us that this is most likely naturally going to be a graph of what? Cosine, even though we can still write it as a graph of sine, okay? So for that case, we will take A to be just what? Minus 1, because you know the graph of cosine is supposed to start from the maximum, but this is starting from the minimum. All right. So then now we go for the period. And the period, which is 2 pi by k, is nothing but the end minus what? Beginning. So 2 pi over k is equals to end. What is the end? The end is 3 pi over 2 minus the beginning, which is minus pi over 2, right? So we will have 2 pi by k equals to what? So you have, this is going to be 2 pi, because you have 3 pi plus pi over 2. So it's just going to be 2 pi. And this means that k is equals to what? 1. All right. The next is for us to use the horizontal shift, which is the phase shift. Horizontal shift, we use the formula x is equals to minus b over k. So what is x here? X, you just take your starting point, which is minus pi over 2. And this will be minus b over k. K is 1. And if you look carefully, this minus will go with minus. So we will just have b equals to pi over 2. All right. Now, we need to use, we need to find c, right? We need to find c because we are targeting what? We are targeting this graph, a cosine kx plus b over c, right? This is what we want to get. So that is why we are looking for all these parameters. Now, we know that the range is what? Minus, okay, this is the range. So it means that this is the minimum value, which is the same thing as our small m, and this is the maximum value. So this is the minimum, and this is the maximum, right? So we can use either the minimum or the maximum value to find c. So if we use the maximum value, what is the maximum value? From here, this formula is going to be this one, absolute value of a plus c. But this is the same thing as what? The maximum value of y on the graph is 1. But remember, earlier on, we said that the absolute value of a is 1. We got it here. So it means that we have 1 plus c equals to what? Equals to 1, right? All right. So now, what that means is that what? We can see that c is just equals to 0. Okay. So now we have everything. Then we can just come and write it in our equation. Remember, our equation is nothing but y is equals to y is equals to what? A y is equals to a cosine kx plus b plus c. So y is just going to be what? If you substitute these values now, we will have what? A is minus 1, so you have minus cosine. K is 1, so you have x. B is pi over 2. And you can see that c is equals to 0. So it means we have this is our equation. Right? Now this we can rewrite as what? Minus, we can change cosine to sine, and that will use sine 90, which is the cofunction identity, minus what? Theta. What is our theta? The whole of this is the theta. So it's just going to be x plus pi over 2. So we have used what? We just used the cofunction identity. So this is going to be minus sine. Now if you expand this and this will go. So you just have minus x, right? And you can bring the minus outside. So this just becomes what? Minus, because you know sine is what? Sine is odd. So this will become minus sine x. So y is equals to sine of x. So any of this is fine. Either this or this, both are the same. All right. So here you can always check. You can do checking here. Checking means you just take one point and substitute to see whether your answer is correct or not. So for example, here we can try f of what? We can check what is f of minus pi over 2. And this is going to be minus cosine. Let me just do it here. Yes, minus cosine of what? Minus pi over 2 plus pi over 2, right? This is just going to be minus cosine of 0, which is minus 1. So it means that f of minus pi over 2, and this is correct, because if you look at f of minus pi over 2, what is the value of y? It is minus 1 here. Okay. All right. Now, let me just explain the graph of sine. Why is it the same thing as the graph of sine? If you look at the graph of sine, what is the graph of sine? The graph of sine, remember, is just going to be, this is 0 to 2 pi, and this is pi over 2, and this is 3 pi over 2. So the graph of sine starts from the base, the origin. It goes here, it comes back to minus 1. So this is 1, and this is minus 1. And back to the base, then what? All right, let's see. This will be this way. Okay, so here should be 0. Then this is going to be here. Then you're back here. So this is the sine of x, right? This is for one period from 0 to 2 pi. But you see, if we extend the left-hand side here, if this is 0, definitely this is going to be minus pi over 2, right? So it means that if I have 0 here, then here it will have to come back to the minimum. So this is going to be the graph. And then if I have minus pi here, I will go back to baseline, then I go like this, right? It will continue. But if you look at this graph, we just have from minus pi over 2, which is this minus 1. So if you look, but now if you remove this part, which is from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi, you see, it looks exactly like what we have here. You see these two graphs? So this is exactly the same as the graph that we're given. Look at them. So that is why we say that what? It is also the same as the graph of what? Sine x. Now, let's go to the next one. So for the next one, this is dealing with another one. So we're still going to start. If this is similar to what we just did, we will follow the same procedure. So we start with the amplitude, which is capital M minus small m divided by 2. And this is going to be half minus minus half, all divided by what? Divided by 2. And I think this is just going to be just what's, this is 1 over 2, right? Because you have half plus half will become 1. 1 divided by 2 is just half. But also, if you look here, you will see that what at the beginning, which is as our starting point, you are starting from the maximum. Sorry, not maximum, minimum. So it means that what we should take A actually to be minus what? Minus half. Then the same way, this is dealing with the amplitude, right? And now dealing with the period, which is 2 pi over what? Over k is going to be the same, end minus what? Minus beginning. So we need to know what is the end and what is the beginning. So what is the end? The end is 2 pi over 3. And the beginning is minus pi over 3. So we will have 2 pi over k is equals to, this will just become pi. Yes, because here you become 2 pi plus pi, which is 3 pi divided by 3, it's pi. So this simply means that our k, it's equals to what? 2. Then the horizontal shift is x is equals to what? X is equals to minus b over k. The horizontal shift you start with your starting point is going to be the shift. So which is minus pi over 3. And this is minus b over what? K, which is equals to 2. And now minus will go with minus. So we will have 3b equals to what? 2 pi. And that means that b is equals to 2 pi over what? over 3. All right, so now what do? We go for the maximum value. We can use the maximum value or we can use the minimum value. Let's use the minimum value in this case to find the what's the C. The minimum value, remember, is going to be minus absolute value of A plus C. And this is going to be, what is the minimum value on the graph? It's minus half. Remember, in the first example, we used the maximum value, which is just absolute value of A plus C. But here we are using the minimum value, which is minus absolute value A plus C. Now, what is absolute value of A? Absolute value of A is half. So this will be minus half plus C equals to what? Minus half. Clearly, C is equals to what? 0. Now that C is equals to 0, I think we are ready to write the equation of the graph. Right. Remember, this is going to be also, we're going to use it as a cosine graph. Now, why are we using cosine graph? Because at our starting point, we are at the minimum. So we'll prefer to start, and then we can convert it to sine, right? So this means that A is what's minus half. So we have minus 1 over 2. Cosine K is 2x plus B is 2 pi over 3. And C is 0. So there's no need. We can stop here. Right. Now we can convert this to cosine so that this will become minus half. Convert it to sine. So this becomes sine, then 90, which is pi over 2, minus everything, which is 2x plus what? Pi over 3. Okay. Now this we can simplify it a bit. So this is minus half sine. This is going to be pi over 2 minus what? 2 pi over 3, then minus 2x. And this will be minus half sine, what if you multiply this by 3, so you have 3 pi minus what? 4 pi, so this is about minus pi over 6, then minus 2x. So we can leave it like this, or you can still want to factor out minus. In either way, it's okay. Okay, so let's just let's rewrite this better. This is minus half sine. Let's write the 2x first. This is minus 2x. So we can put a minus out so that this becomes just 2x plus pi over 6. And you see that? Yeah, we just factor out minus. And now that we factor out minus, we can still use the fact that sine is what? Sine is odd. So if sine is odd, it means that this negative will go out. So if it goes out, it will cancel this negative here. So this becomes minus half. Then here will become minus sine. Let's do it like this first. One step. So this is 2x plus what? Pi over 6. And then this minus will cancel this minus. So we just have 1 over 2 sine 2x plus what? Pi over 6. So this is, this is the equation for sine. All right. So these two are the same. They are the same. Now, if you want to check, you can always check whether your answer is correct or not. And to do the checking, you just take a point, just as we said before. So let's just check. We don't have to do all of the two. Just take one and check. So let's check with which one? Let's check with this one. It's fine. Let's check. What are we checking here? We just look for maybe f of what? We can use f of minus pi over 3. It's fine. We're using pi over 3, which is the starting point. We can use any point. It's fine. Which is easy. We can use. So this will be, based on this, it will be half sine 2 times what? Minus pi over 3, right? Then plus, say pi over what? Is it pi over 6? So this is going to be half sine. This is just what? This is minus 2 pi over 3, then plus what? Pi over 6. All right, so if you look this carefully, this will become what? 1 over 2. This is just 1 over 2 sine. This here, you can multiply this by 2 by 2. So you will have minus 4 pi. Yeah. You have minus 4 pi over 6, right? No, minus 3 pi. You have minus 3 pi over 6. Yes. So, and what is this? This is just going to be half sine of what? You see that this is going to be minus pi over what? Minus pi over 2, right? But we know that what? Sine is odd, so the minus can come outside. This is just going to be minus half. Then what? Sine pi over 2, correct? But what is sine pi over 2, which is sine 90, is 1. So you have 1 times minus half, which is just minus half. And that is what we expect, because if at minus pi over 3, what is the value of y? Is minus half. So it means that we're fine. All right, let's take another example. Now, looking at this one here, this also most likely, you look at your starting point. From the starting point, you see at the starting point 0, we are where? We are at 3 over 2, which is the maximum point. So this is also an indication that we can start with the graph of what? With the graph of cosine, yes? So let's start with the amplitude. Our amplitude absolute value of A is capital M minus small m divided by 2, right? And here, what can we see? This is equals to 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2 all divided by what? By 2. So this is equals to what? 3 over 2 minus minus is what? Is 6 over 2. So everything will become 3 over 2. But here we're going to take what? We're going to take A to be positive because of what? Because at their starting point, we are starting from the maximum. So it means that there is no reflection, right? Now, period, is 2 pi over what? K, which is the end minus what's beginning. Okay, another thing here is that here you can see we don't really know the end. The end is not given. So this is this point here. So what we need to do is to look at this interval. This is our first interval. Remember, we said always go for 4 intervals. And the difference between the intervals must be the same. Okay, so now if you see the first interval is from 0 to pi over 6. Now, since it's from 0 to pi over 6, so it means the distance is pi over 6. So if you want to get this point, it's just add pi over 6 to pi over 6, which will be 2 pi over what? 2 pi over 6, right? Now, if you add pi over 6 to this, it's going to be what? 3 pi over 6, which is the same thing as pi over 2. So here it's like 3 pi over 6. Now, so to get what is next, add pi over 6 to this again. This is going to give you 4 pi over what? Over 6. So which is the same thing as 2 pi over 3, right? Okay. So this one, this pi over 2 is the same thing as 3 pi over 6. That is if you want to write everything in terms of 6. Or you can leave it as just the way it is given. So we're just adding what? You add pi over 6 to each interval. So the difference between each interval is a length of pi over 6. So it means that the end now is what? Is 4 pi over 6, which is the same thing as 2 pi over 3 minus the beginning, which is 0. So this is what you have, 2 pi over k, right? This you can easily write it as 2 pi over k is 2 pi over 3. And this makes it easy to see that k is equals to what? K is equals to 3. All right. Now we go for the horizontal shift. Horizontal shift x is what? Minus b over k. So what is our horizontal shift here is 0 because we're starting from the origin. The first point is the origin. So this becomes 0 is equals to minus b over k, which is 3. So clearly b also is what? Is 0. Now to find c, we can use the maximum value here, which is just absolute value of a plus c equals to the maximum value is 3 over 2. So we have the maximum value of a is this is 3 over 2, which is our amplitude, plus c equals to what? 3 over 2. So c is equals to what? 0. All right. Now we can we're ready to write our equation now since we know all these parameters. So let's go here. So y equals to what? A cosine kx plus b plus c, right? Right. So this is just going to be y is equals to 3 over 2 cosine of what? I think it's just cosine of 3x, right? Because b is 0 and c is equals to 0. So we're done. Which we can write in terms of sine as 3 over 2 sine pi over 2 also minus 3x is good. We're good for this one. You can leave it this way. All right, so you can test. If we want to test now, let's say test here, checking. For checking now, we can just substitute what? we can look for what f of what's, let's say f of 0. This is checking now. So f of 0, as you can see, is just going to be 3 over 2 cosine of what? 0. And that is 3 over 2 times 1, which is 3 over 2. So this is correct. Okay, now let's go for the final answer, the final example, which is it's quite different, so it's very important. All right. Now, if you look at this one, we're still going to follow the same procedure, but this one is kind of different because we have how many? We have more than 4 intervals given. So because you see here, from here to here, this is one interval. This is what's another interval. This is another what? Interval, which is interval, the third one. And this is another interval, 4. So from here to here is 5, so almost 6 intervals. But we need only 4 intervals. So 4 interval is what we need. So it means we're going to ignore the remaining. Yes. Now, your choice of 4 interval, you don't have to start from minus pi over 4. You can decide to start your graph from where? Pi over 4, right? And you still have 4 intervals. So you can say from, or you can start even from 0. So if you start from 0, you will end where? 0, this is 1, 2, 3, then you end at pi. If you start from pi over 4, then you should end at where? You should end at 5 pi over 4. So just select 4 interval, it's fine. You're going to get the same thing. So it will work. Now, let's see. So here we are choosing which interval. We are choosing this. So it means our amplitude, let me write here, start from here. So our amplitude absolute value of A is still going to be the same, capital M minus small m divided by 2. And this is what? 3 minus what? Minimum value, you can see the minimum here is minus 1. So you have minus 1, everything divided by 2. And this is what? This is going to be 3 plus 1, 4. 4 divided by 2. So this is going to be 2, right? The absolute value of A is equals to 2. All right, now, let's continue. I will decide whether A is going to be positive. Is there a reflection or there is no reflection? If there is no reflection, then it's going to remain positive. If there's reflection, then it's going to be negative. But we'll decide that later. Let's continue. Now, period. What is period is 2 pi over k is equals to end minus beginning. So what is the end? The end is still what? The end is, now our end is based on the interval we've chosen, the 4 interval. The end will be 3 pi over 4. And the beginning, it's minus pi over what? Over 4. So this is going to be 2 pi over k. It's equals to what? This is going to be just pi, I think. Yep. And therefore, k is going to be 2 as well. Now the horizontal shift, our horizontal shift, x is minus b over k. This is going to be minus what's pi over 4 is equals to minus b over k, right? I use minus 4 because that is our starting point. So that is our x. So minus will go with minus. And b, we already know what is k. So let's put the value of k. K is just 2. So this means that 4b is equals to 2 pi. So b is going to be pi over 2, right? Yes. Okay. Then we can use our maximum value or the minimum value. By formula, we have absolute value of a plus c is equals to what? Capital M. What is our capital M? Which is equals to what? Okay, let me write it as capital M first. So this absolute value of a is 2 plus c, we don't know, plus capital M, which is the largest value, which is 3, right? So you can see that c is equals to what? 1. So in this example, this is the only one where c is different from 0, right? So what that means is that this line, this graph is actually shifted up 1 unit up, right? So it's just going to be something like this. Okay, so this will help us. Remember, we are taking only from minus pi over 4 to 3 pi over 4. So it means at our starting point, what is our starting point? Minus pi over 4, we are at the what? At the baseline, which is in this case like our origin. This is our starting point. So you can see at minus pi over 4, the answer is what? Y is 1. So it means y is not the maximum. It is not the minimum, because the maximum is 3. The minimum is what? Minus 1. So this suggests that this is the graph of what? Sine, because it's starting from the baseline. So because now you know our baseline is no longer the line y equals to 0. It has been shifted 1 unit up. So it's now the line y equals to 1. So it means we will go with this option of sine. So a sine kx plus what? Plus b plus c. And then we just substitute. And here you can see there is no reflection because you are starting from the baseline. So it means a will still be just 2. Then sine k is what? What is k? K is also 2. So we have 2x plus b is pi over 2. And finally, c is what? C is 1. So this is the equation, right? And then, as usual, we can convert it to one way to convert it. There are other ways, but we're just doing only one way here, which is using the co-function identity. So you have pi over 2, which is 90 minus brackets. Here you have 2x plus pi over 2. Then you still have plus 1. The plus 1 is a vertical shift. So it has nothing to do with the co-function identity. So you just add plus 1 here. So this is still going to be 2 cosine. Now, if you look inside here, pi over 2, if you take this minus out, pi over 2 will cancel pi over 2. So we're just left with cosine minus 2x plus 1. But we know that cosine is what? Is even. So the minus will not survive. It will be consumed. So you just have 2x plus what? Plus 1. Okay. Now, these are the two equations, this one and this one. Then you can check using any one of it. So let's do the checking now. So let's check with the first one, which is a little bit more complicated. So I want to check with this one. So let's find f of what? I can even use f of 0 instead of using the starting point. Let's use f of 0 to make life easy, right? So let's use f of 0, because we know what is f of 0. From the graph, f of 0 should be 3. So this will become 2 sine. F of 0 will just be pi over 2 here, then plus 1, right? So sine pi over 2 is 1. So this is 2 times 1 plus 1, which is 3. Yep. And this is what we expect to get. So means that the equation we got, it's fine. All right. So thank you for watching. Kindly like, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and also share with your friends. If you notice anything, a mistake, or you have any comment, just put it in the comment section. Thank you for watching.